chess, the beloved statistical predictive model that we have for these matches said it would be 5-2 in this segment, but Danya Min will be happy with half a point at this point.
Yeah, 5-2 is a pipe dream, honestly. Min would give an arm and a leg to be down 3 after 30 more minutes of this. The openings haven't really been, they've been a problem for Min, but it's been, some positions have been pretty decent for him. The early middle games, though, have just been a complete blowout. And once again, you can see Magnus changing up his openings almost every game. He's played C4, D4, and E4. He keeps you guessing, and he keeps you on your toes, right? He keeps forcing you to solve new sets of problems, and it just makes him just the most nasty opponent ever.
Absolutely. He's got a Catalan, he's got regular queen spawn games, and this one is a neo-Catalan. He's got the 2 bishops again. Perhaps he evaluated in that previous game that having the bishop pair really served him nicely, and now he's going to try to use the doubled A-pawns to put pressure. It's not looking good. And I don't know how Min is supposed to play to his strengths against Magnus, because right now every strength seems to be in Magnus's favor.
Yeah, that is just the nature of playing the best player of all time. There's only so much you can do. But there's definitely more that Min could be doing. He could be playing better. I think he is chastising himself to some degree for some of these unforced errors. If he can at least eliminate the unforced errors in the early middle game, he gives himself a better shot of extending the game. We saw him almost come back miraculously down a pawn. If he can do that, then it's within his capability to make these games close. B5, lovely idea. Levy, let me show this really quickly. Queen takes b5, I think loses to the unexpected tactic, bishop f3, and suddenly rook b8 skewers the queen. Who remembers this bishop on b2?
Yeah, and I have a feeling Magnus didn't see this, because he kind of gave a little facial expression like, oh, yeah, you got me, and he may come to regret this, because those pawns are looking really nice on the queen side.
Yeah, there's also more black pawns and white pawns after Min secures the goods with queen takes a5, which he's not rushing to do. He's afraid.
He's afraid of a3. He's afraid of his opponent, Danya. It's not easy, You suddenly start thinking this was all planned by Magnus.
I'm afraid of my opponent, and I'm afraid of Magnus, and I'm not even playing him right now. Just, again, it's the aura. It's hard to put into words, but you start questioning even the most basic decisions that would take you 3 seconds under regular circumstances. I find it hard to believe that after queen takes a5, a3, black's queen side collapses. Really? Queen b6 there?
I guess AB. And
bishop takes f3?
AB, bishop f3 you want to play first. And then that might be that's an important detail, because then there's no bishop to d4. It's important to show, because otherwise bishop d4.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what we're grappling with here is this line. Sorry to cut you off there. And now bishop takes f3, because if you take cb, probably still okay for black, but yeah, bishop d4 is very unpleasant. But the other idea is that bc in this position, intermezzo, apparently this is still equal. Is the eval bar just like frozen? Because this was my idea. But maybe what just sacks the exchange and goes like
queen g5, yeah. Queen g5, yeah.
But okay, is very deep.
Yes.
In anybody's game here. Well, apparently that's not the move.
No, I don't know. But, and he has finally taken. Wow.
So he took on f3, then took on a5, but we could get the same position, right? If Magnus plays a3 now anyway, which he's very likely to do, queen b6 will Actually, no, it won't transpose, because it will eliminate... That's actually very smart by Min. It will eliminate this intermezzo b takes e5 that we were just looking at.
But a3, yeah, queen b6, you have to be a bit careful, because black is about to play a5 and hold it all together. Maybe d4. Exactly right. Exactly.
Wow.
What? Would you ever play
brilliant.
this? Would you?
No.
Would you ever consider it after like even 15 minutes of thinking?
I mean, A takes b4, I ruled out, as probably everybody in the chat did, I ruled this out when I realized that bishop d4 is not a thing. So it's, obvious that why would you ever allow connected passers, which you clearly cannot target. But Magnus using the queen trade, I call this the weaponized queen trade. Why is he trading queens? Suddenly it turns out that Min, these pawns are caught with their pants down, both of them. Rook fb1, all the pieces arrive at the right spot at the perfect moment. How do you defend a7?
I don't know.
You don't.
You don't, yeah. Wow. But better put the pans back on. That's what we're looking at. Queen e3 is a brilliant move, and Min senses a level of desperation, so he starts playing h5 and looking for some counterplay, Danya. But he might just end up a pawn down.
Yeah, at least he needs to try to keep the b pawn. If he loses the b pawn, he likely loses the game because, I mean, I'm going to make a pretty obscure statement here. White has the bishop pair. I know most people probably didn't notice this. I know I'm always there for you to, enlighten people on the finer nuances of the position. Now, Magnus has some work to do because this pawn is not easy to get to. Maybe he wants to start expanding in the center. Maybe he expands on a typical Magnus thing to do would be to go like h3, g4 when you least expect it. But it is an endgame, and it is good to involve the king.
And very quickly, the pawn on b3 could turn out to not be as strong as one would think. I'm not really sure how black is supposed to make progress. Yeah, rook is coming back.
I don't think it's good. I don't think it's pretty strong. It looks like a weakness.
Yeah, but knight g4 is a nice idea. That's kind of showing why he played h5. And yeah, you might need to part with the bishop here, which you kind of don't want to do.
Yeah. But eventually cooler heads prevail. It's like paying taxes. The consequences of not doing it are greater than the unpleasantness of forcing yourself to do it.
Yeah, we pay our taxes here, IRS. We promise. Now, do you ever want to play rook a4, rook c4 with the king getting closer and the endgame clearly switching sides? I don't feel so, right? Why would you do that to your pawns?
Well, you might have to, because white could get checkmated. Because rook h5 is now suddenly a huge threat. And kudos to Min. This came out of nowhere. It felt like, again, Magnus is starting to, to impose his will to lay down the law in the position. And suddenly, Min's rooks are getting frisky.
Just king
this
d1.
Is just in time. Yeah, you can't go rook h5 because of rook takes b3. Which is a threat, by the way.
Best chance Min has had in about an hour. And but now he doesn't have rook h5 anymore. He just missed rook b3?
Yeah.
Oh, and he bonks himself in the head. He can't believe it. I mean, and yeah, Magnus kind of throws up his eyebrows like, sorry, man.
Yeah, rook a1. It gets worse, too, because you might think, let's get some counterplay. No, rook a7. Of course, Magnus's bishop is better than the knight.
No, checking actually was slightly more accurate because you weaken f7.
Yeah. And again, he's up a minute, by the way. I mean, always that's in the background, right? He has not been down on time, I think, in a single one of these games. So bishop takes e5, rook takes h2. As long as Magnus can protect this pawn, he should be technically winning.
Yeah, now I would argue that as a human being, this is not that simple with white. You actually really don't like losing the pawn on h2 because you get nightmares. You start thinking, I'm going to lose the pawn on g3 and I'm going to allow a queen. But Magnus is not human. So he's going to just...
Nightmares?
Yeah, yep, nightmare, yes. But no pun intended there. Maybe he's just going to take on e5 and comfortably convert this. Like you said, just defend the pawn on e2.
Yeah. I once submitted 10 puns to a contest to see which one would win. No pun intended. Sorry. I really thought that you did that. I thought you actually submitted. But did you just make that up again? No, that's a known pun. I mean, I would be the kind of guy who submits original puns to a contest, and none of them would win. But this is depressing. Magnus has all of his pawns under control. I mean, look at the pawn chain here: e2, d3, and e4.
Yeah, but there is something
not the best, though.
Yeah, apparently not the best. But it's not really. Yeah, rook h5. I guess he's gonna get pinned, but okay. I mean, it's it's not over. Let's put it this way: it's not over, but it feels all but over. And the bishop is coming back to. It's not going back to e1. Wow.
Oh, but f5. Magnus is being a little bit too cavalier with these pawn breaks. I think he's just trying to create practical problems for Min.
Ooh.
f5 apparently wasn't the move.
Is the knight getting trapped?
Listen to the commentator.
Is there e6 or rook c6? Okay.
Oh
e6
my God.
takes e6. Yeah, but it takes and come back.
Knight comes back.
Yes. No, knights can go backwards.
E6, knight takes a6, bishop e5 was really interesting, but that ship has sailed.
Ooh.
It's getting messy, though. It's getting very messy.
Ooh, he had to put the bishop on d4 to get out of the way of the knight. But Danya, he's going to get winning chances again. Bishop d4.
But black also has his chances. f3 at the right moment. But black is just one tempo shy of creating that counterplay. e7, f3, though, is not obvious at all.
This is very unpleasant. Rook c6. Oh, he's bringing the king, but apparently Min is in time.
Rook e2 coming. Min's going to hold this. At least black is going to hold this. Black might actually be in the driver's seat now. I would go king f1 and bishop takes g7 to bail out.
Yeah, king f1, and it's looking like Min is going to get on the board. e7. Wow.
Bishop e3.
Well, Magnus doesn't even continue the game. He could have played bishop e3 maybe, but this is just a draw. There it is, and Min is on the board.